Okay, good morning, all of you. Am I audible? If I on,
Yes, sir.
am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me start. Actually, today is the planning to finish the rest of the advanced problems, some advanced problems and functions, and introduction to limit. Limit you have done in 11, but let's have a journey, brief discussion or recapitulation of the limits, Sandwich theorem, L'Hopital's, Leibniz, all these. After that, if time permits, we will go to continuity and differentiability maybe in the next class. So this is our plan, step by step. So let's have today few important notes that may be required in solving some problems. These are thumb rules, or you can note down in your important diary. Maintain an important diary to note down these things. Number one, everybody should note down this one. SP a finite set with any elements. Then the number of reflexive relations. Reflexive relations. Can you tell me what is a reflexive relation?
Sir, each element will relate to itself and may relate to other elements after that.
A comma A belongs to R for all A.
Yes, sir.
That is the reflexive. For all A belongs to the set. So that is the kind of reflexive relation. So number, without any proof, I'm just giving you some details, some information. Please note down and try to remember this, retain these things. So reflexive relation on A is 2 to the power n square minus A. Number 2, total number of subsets of S process Cartesian product is 2 to the power n square. S is a finite set with n elements, that is mentioned. Number 3, A and B be two non-empty sets having n and n elements. The number of mappings of A into B is n to the power n. Number of mappings from A to B is n to the power n. Next is, let X and Y be two sets, each having n elements. The number of bijections from X to Y is factorial n. Bijection means, what do you mean by bijection?
Sir,
The function is both injective and surjective.
Yes, 1 1 and out 2. Right. Next, if non-empty set A has n elements, the number of binary compositions defined on A n to the power n square. Yes, I will talk about this binary composition everywhere. Can I rub the upper part? Second one. Suppose A is a set, right? And small a belongs to B. And also B belongs to B two elements. Then if A circle B belongs to A, then this composition is called binary. Circle means circle can be addition, subtraction, multiplication, anything or anything you define. That means actually what happened, binary composition is a mapping. This is the Cartesian product A cross A to A. So binary composition is a mapping A cross A to A. That means you are taking an order pair to a single element. Suppose on the set of natural number, plus is a binary composition. Why? You take 2 plus 3. What is that result? 5 belongs to natural number and it is closed. But my question is subtraction a binary composition on natural number?
No, sir. It may go into integer.
Does not belong. Okay, clear? Am I clear, everyone? So I will solve more problems on functions, especially on box and fractional part. So today's problem number 1. The domain of, I think the sheet is shared with you. I will solve some few problems from that sheet. One by root over fractional part of sin x is where this curly braces denote the fractional part of x. I think in the last class I gave you some results on box and fractional part. Some results. Okay, what is your sin pi plus x? Acha, some results. Swapnil, some results. Right? Correct? This is correct. What is your sin pi plus x? Do it now. And denominator cannot be 0. Yes. Ishan Deepayan, what is the answer? So in the denominator you have right. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And this should not be 0. This should not be 0.
Yes, sir.
So sin x doesn't belongs to the integer. That means sin x not equal to minus 1, not equal to 0, not equal to 1.
Option B.
Yes. Well, sin x right.
Yes, sir.
Well, what is the that means x not equal to pi by 2, n pi by 2. Well, what is your
Just sir, will
answer?
you please explain once that how is fractional part of x plus minus fractional part of x equals to 0 when it is integer and 1 when it is not
When it
integer?
is integer. When it is integer. So what is the fractional part of 1? What is the fractional part of 1? 0. What is the fractional part of minus 1? So its sum will be 0 when it is an integer. And it is does not belongs to the integer, then it will be 1. Okay? Yeah. So this should not be integer. Otherwise, if denominator is 0 undefined, so this should not be integer. Now, if this is not an integer, the sin x doesn't belong to the integer. That means only integral value sin x can assume is in minus 1, 0 and 1. So sin x doesn't belong to minus 1, 0 or 1. That means it cannot be pi by 2, multiple of pi by 2. Because sin x has a value. This is pi by 2. So at 1, 0, this is pi, right? So at integral point, so x is not equal to n pi by 2. That means the real number minus this. This is the answer. Am I clear? Am I clear, everybody? Let fx equal to root over mod x minus fractional part of x and x comma y are its domain. Yes, tell me that. This is fractional part of x. Okay. Everyone, can you see the question? Answer. Try and tell me the answer. Deepayan, what is your answer?
So 1 minute, sir, trying.
Okay. First of all, to find the domain, mod x minus fractional part of x should be greater or equal to 0, right? That is the main criteria. Mod x greater or equal to fractional part of x. So I will use graphically and solve the problem. How? This is fractional
Sir,
part.
option A.
Okay. Okay. Now mod. This is one of the mod. And this one. So mod x greater or equal to fractional part of x. Mod x greater or equal to fractional part of x means, if you see, this is the portion, upper part. That means this is your half actually. This is your minus half, right? Minus half. So what is your region? Minus infinity to minus half in this part.
Sir, option A will be the answer.
No, option C. Minus infinity to minus half in this part. Mod x is more than fractional part of x.
Oh, understood, sir.
After 0 to infinity. You see, actually, if you have one more color, I can show you. You see, minus infinity to minus half. This is your minus half point. Up to this, mod x is more than fractional part of x. According to this criteria. Again, if you go after 0, from 0 to infinity all over, your mod x is more than the fractional part of x. Fractional part of x is here. So this is the domain. And if you
till a
see
point,
that
sir, I guess in the plus of till a point it is equal to fractional part of x, and we
yes,
will consider that also.
fractional point of x and what is yes, 0 to infinity. Okay, clear, Deepaya? Ishan?
Yes, sir, understood.
The range of next question number 4. 3. The range of yes, all are box. Close brackets are box functions.
Sir, option B.
Option D, none of this.
ना sir, B बोल
B.
accent, just a second. No sir, option A it will be.
Option A, I think you are correct.
Yes sir, because the first one for the minimum we just put 0 in place of x, so we get 1 plus up to n, so n into n plus 1 by 2, and then for the maximum we put pi, so only sign pi will be tomar that 1, and the rest will go to 0 because from for 1 to 0 it is always 0.
Yes, correct. Actually, this box can be written as, you can split them 1 plus 2 up to n plus box sin x by 2, box sin x by 3, and so on. So this is n into n plus 1 by 2, and box sin x is 1 because x belongs to 0 to pi, right? X belongs to 0 to pi and all are 0, because if x belongs to 0 to pi, then sin x is sin 0 0. Okay, sin x is less, sorry, then x by 2 less than pi by 2. So sin x by 2 will be 0, Sin x by 2 will be 0. Sin x by 3 will be 0. And all other values will be 0. Right? 0 to 1. X by 2, if x by 2 is between 0 and pi by 2, then sin x by 2 is 0 to 1. Then box will be 0. Box will be 0. Sin x by 3 box will be 0. Sin x by n box will be 0. All other 0 except box sin x. Take the maximum value 1. Maximum value. Because range. So what is the maximum of the box sin x? 1. So
Sir, I guess it will be like we have to put for the maximum value, we have to put pi. So sin pi will be 0 and sin pi by 2 will be 1 and the rest will be 0.
yes.
Sin 180 degree will be 0, I guess. And then sin pi by 2 will be 1. You have,
1 pi by 2 will be 1. Yes.
yes, sir. You have given 0 to pi, not pi by 2.
No, x is given 0 to pi.
Yes, sir. So when we put pi in place of x, first for it will be box sin 180 degree, that will be 0.
0.
And second will be box sin 90 degree, that will be 1 and the rest will be 0.
Rest will be, oh, this one. Yes.
Yes, sir. This one will be 0 and the next will be 1.
This will be 1. Yes. So all other values are less than 1. Maximum problem based on box and fraction. Yes, tell me.
Sir, just a second.
First, you need to factorize the square root. Okay, what are the factors? Hello? Okay. So this must be greater or equal to 0. But this is not possible because fractional part of x is always belongs to 0, 1. Right? Right? Deepa Nishan?
Yes, sir.
So what?
Yes, sir.
But so there is no region. No region. Yes. So only possibility is box x less than equal to half. A fractional part of x less than equal to half. Now which of the option you can directly state the option for the answer?
Sir, ওটা কি করে করলে বুঝতে পারলাম না। তোমার x belongs to 0, fractional part of x belongs to 0 to 1 টা কি করে করলে?
Fractional part of x is always between 0 and 1 too.
আচ্ছা হ্যাঁ, সেটা ঠিক আছে। আচ্ছা, তার সাথে ওটার কোনো ম্যাচ নেই, তাই তো?
No. Half.
আচ্ছা,
This is the half line. So this is your half.
yes sir.
This is your 3 by 2. This is your 5 by 2.
Yes sir.
So basically x belongs to n comma n plus half. देखो check. Fractional part of x is less than equal to half. Where? You see in this part. Okay, let me draw the diagram bigger. Can I rub this calculation?
Yes sir. ওই পার্টটা পর্যন্ত হয়েছিল, তোমার বাকিটা তারপরেই অসুবিধা হচ্ছিল।
Let me draw the graph. Okay. Now let me draw a half line. This is y equal to half line. That is, this point is half. This point is 3 by 2. This point is 5 by 2 and so on. That is, x belongs to. Acha. Now the question is, according to our calculation, fractional part of x less than equal to half. That is, this is y equal to half line. That is, this portion, that means 0 to half. This is 1 to 3 by 2.
Yes sir.
2 to 5 by 2. Can you get that? Yes. Have you understood?
Yes sir.
তাহলে দেখো x belongs to this. This is your domain. Now check your option. Less than equal to.
So can you explain the last part once again?
যদি আমরা হাফটা ইনক্লুড করি তাহলে তো মানে
Half is included. Half included. Yes, Deepayam.
Sir, can you explain the last part once again?
This diagram. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Can you see the fractional?
So not the diagram that x less than equal to half, that one, that thing.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, like that relation you showed on the graph, that part. Calculation I understood, like
Okay,
how
yes.
to imply that on the graph, that thing.
Okay. This part. Have you understood this part?
And that too came from the calculation.
It's from the calculation. Have you understood this part?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now I am drawing diagram. This is fractional part of x,
Yes, sir.
and this is y equal to half line.
Yes.
This guy is fractional part of x. This is y equal to half. Now fractional part of x is less than equal to half. That means it's below the half line. You have to take those portions. Those are below the half line. Have you understood now?
Yes, sir.
So you see 0 to half, it is less than half. 1 to 3 by 2, it is less than equal to half. 2 to 5 by 2, it is less than equal to half. That I was talking about. So basically, it belongs to n plus half.
Understood, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I think the option B.
So why option B?
Thank you. This side also. Option, you have to go from the options. Okay, just excuse me for a minute. Am I clear, everybody? One is included. This point is included in the region. You are taking 1, 0. Actually, option is from the options you have to choose. Otherwise, the whole there are infinite number of points. There are infinite number of points. But according to option, you have to choose. Am I clear, Ishan Dipayam?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you need a graphical knowledge is also required. A function, actually you are building the function concept. A concept or limit concept to ready you can go through your whole syllabus. Everything. Top jayega function. Especially domain and range and the graphical knowledge. Okay, again. This is fraction, this is box function. It is integer function. Everybody, can you read the question? Main confusion is box and fraction. Yes, Ishan. Acha, let me help you.
Sir, none of this হবে কি?
Yes?
Sir, none of this হবে কি এটা?
No, 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 no. I'm just giving you a hint. Everybody. Acha, first of all,
Sir, box of 2x square minus 3x will be greater than equals to minus 1 and less than 1.
okay, box 2x square minus 3, and this is integer.
Yes,
So
sir.
it belongs to minus 1, 0, and 1. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, it's minus 1 to 1. It should be.
Yes, sir.
I think, let me check. You can find. Okay, this is your first point. Now, if 2x square
Ever just-
minus 3 is minus 1.
স্যার অপশনগুলো জাস্ট চেক করছিলাম এরপরে
করে নাও।
স্যার তাতে হচ্ছিল না ঠিক মানে অপশনটা
I don't have the right answer. Maybe none of this.
স্যার 5/2 বসালে ওটা তোমার
Oh,
2
okay.
হয়ে যাচ্ছে
I think it's none of this.
হ্যাঁ স্যার 2/5 বসালেও হবে না
Okay.
তার জন্যই
Okay, how to check? 2x square minus 3 is minus 1, suppose. Then 2x square minus 3 correct? Right? If I am correct, Ishan,
Yes, sir.
so it's 2 from here you can get the intervals.
ইয়েস স্যার
Now, this is for
দেন ইট উইল বি 0 to 1
minus 1. Now, this is for 0.
দেন ইট উইল বি 0 to 1
0 to 1. From here you can get the intervals.
Yes, sir.
And lastly, just note down the calculation. This is always required in integration also, this type of calculations. Finding the limits for the integration. So I am talking about very basic and advanced problems more. So last one is box will be 1. Yes. It's gonna be 4, 5, so from here. So you can find out the intersection of the regions, you can get the answer. Just note down this calculation.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, won't it be 3 less than equal to 2x square less than 4?
This one.
Second one.
This one.
Yes, sir.
This stage.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So won't be less than 4?
Yes, sir. Right hand
Plus
side will be
3.
4.
Oh, this is 4. This is 4. Sorry. Correct. Otherwise, everything is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So all the problems are box and fraction. I'm just giving you. Can I have this part? Yes. X belongs to 0 to pi by 4. Any answer?
Sir, just a second.
If I am Ishan, Acha, I'm just giving you a hint. First part, sec x. What is your sec 0?
1.
What is your sec pi by 4?
Root 2.
So what is your box sec x?
1. Sir, will it be option C?
Yes.
It will be 1 in any case.
Clear? Now let's calculate box tan x. Tan x plus 1.
Yes, sir.
So
Minimum
again,
value at 0 will be 0 and 45 will be 1.
tan x will be 1. So 1 less than tan x plus 1 less than 2. So box will be 1. Am I clear, Deepayan?
Yes, sir.
So again this is 1. Again you check 1 plus cos x will be 1. Again you check lastly sin x plus 1 will be 1 box. So I think this is the range. So it can be more functions inside the box, but you have to do it analytically, just sectionally check. Am I clear? Shall I move to the next one?
Yes, sir. Sir, that is x to the power 12.
X to the power minus half.
Sir, the first one.
12, 9, 4, 8.
Yes, sir, got it.
So all are in the neighborhood of 0. You see options. So how will you start?
Just a second.
It's under the root. It is actually under the root.
I guess it will be set of all real numbers.
Correct. How?
Sir, it is, I didn't solve really, but it is like that x, it is there it is x minus x to the power 12 minus x to the power 9. We are only concerned about that x minus x to the power 9 because that may only make that thing 0. And if we think about x to the power 12 and x to the power 9, x to the power 12 will always be greater, and in this side x to the power 4 will be always greater than minus x, and
Correct.
by that I concluded that it will be real number only.
I'm just doing section. X. Look at that. This option gives you x less than equal to 0. So let me give you 3 parts. In the 3 parts, it will be all our real numbers. How? See, x less than equal to 0. If x less than equal to 0. So if x less than equal to 0, this is always positive. You see?
Negative values will also reach positive here. So real values
This is always positive. You see?
negative values
For any negative value.
any negative any positive.
Because these odd things are negative.
Negative.
So it will always positive.
Positive.
Clear? First point is clear. Now next is suppose 0 less than x less than 1. Any fraction number. So you see so this is again positive. Because it's 0 less than is less than 1. So x to the power 4 will be greater than x to the power 9. So this is positive. This is positive. And this is positive. Clear, Ishan?
Yes, sir, that's how I did it.
Fantastic. And the last is x more than 1. What will happen? If x more than 1, x to the power 12.
Just group x to the power 12 and x to the power 9 and x to the power 4 and minus x.
All real numbers. Clear, Deepayan?
Yes, sir.
Box. It is the same concept, I guess. Same concept, right? I will not solve this. You have to solve, guys. Yes, Ishan, answer.
Just solving, just a second.
Okay. Done. Okay, I'm giving you hints.
Sir,
Some
the
hints
common
about
section will be 0, I guess.
5. Answer is 5. Okay, I'm giving you a hint for this problem, not the complete. I will not solve the complete problem. You can go ahead like this. This is the so x square plus half belongs to 0 to pi 2. Okay, this is one hint. So from here, you can get x belongs to 0 root 3 by 2. And from here, you will get x belongs to 1 by root 2 root 5 by 2. This is close bracket, this is open bracket. From these two, your domain will be, use the domain first. Then you can calculate range, and the range will be pi. Because box x square plus half will be 1.
Sir, why didn't you take from -1 to 1?
Minus 1 to Acha. If you solve -1 to 0, I'm taking this part. That will
Okay.
give you undefined values.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
You can check that. I'm not just writing those part. চেক করলে দেখতে পাবে ওটা তোমার নেগেটিভ দিচ্ছে।
Yes, sir. Negative root over this, sir.
Complex.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Negative
not taking. Just you note down this one.
হ্যাঁ স্যার পাই হবে, আমি ভুল করে ওটা 0 করে দিয়েছি, ক্যালকুলেশন বুঝতে পেরেছি।
One to one থেকে কি হবে? One থেকে পুরোটা কত হচ্ছে? After this, I will go to limits. Yeah, this is the last problem of this section, and that's all for the function. So most of the problem in your assignments are solved today. Harder problems. This problem is very famous problem. So you have an algebraic expression as well as trigonometry. Maybe it is quadratic also. You have an algebraic and a trigonometric. It's a combination of algebraic and trigonometric. So what can you say about this function? What can be said about this function? Any wild case? Acha, your option is correct. Now, how will you confirm? You are guessing. Ishan, tell me. So let's apply derivative. And cos x, this is cos x is minus 1 to 1. So always it is positive. You take the minimum value minus 1, it will be positive.
Yes sir, 1 to 1 টা তো হয়ে গেছে, তারপরে on to আর into টাতে কি প্রবলেম?
1 clear? 1 is clear? Paper?
হ্যাঁ স্যার 1 to 1 টা করে নিয়েছিলাম, on to আর into টা করতে একটু প্রবলেম হচ্ছে।
Okay. Now for checking on to, I told you that on to checking as x goes to minus infinity. If x goes to, because you have 2x, so it goes to minus infinity. As x tends to plus infinity. If x tends to plus infinity. So what is your range?
Minus infinity to plus infinity.
R. So
Yes,
that
sir.
is equal to codomain. So range equal to codomain means it is on to.
Okay sir, got it.
Everybody clear? Okay, so just excuse me for a minute. We'll start limit. Okay, everybody. Already few students have knowledge about limits because you have done some classes on limits at the class 11. So I will just refresh that knowledge and maybe recapitulate some important things, because that we have to carry on further for the chapters continuity, differentiability, most important chapter in 12. So my last section of today's class is the limiting portion. So what do you mean by limit? You know that limit we used to write this thing, limit x tends to fx equal to a. So what does it mean? It means that this is the curve and this is suppose C, and there is a neighborhood of C. C minus delta, C plus delta is the neighborhood of C. Oh, here you have A. So let me write A. It's a very small neighborhood of A, and that gives you the value L in the neighborhood of L minus epsilon, L plus epsilon. So this is the neighborhood of A, and this is the neighborhood. That means for each for all delta greater than 0, mod A minus delta, sorry, whenever we say x tends to A implies fx tends to L. So mod x minus A less than delta implies mod fx minus L less than epsilon. That is the limiting concept. This is the epsilon delta definition of the limit. For each epsilon greater than 0, there exists a delta. For each epsilon greater than 0, there is a. This is actually Forster's limiting definition, very complicated definition. But we used to be familiar with this notation and this notation also. As x tends to a, if x tends to a. This line, this one, x minus a less than delta, that means a belongs to this interval, and if x minus a less than epsilon, that means if x, this is your function lies in this interval. So for each epsilon, you are getting a delta. Suppose you are here, you are getting a delta. Give you the, if you draw the horizontal line, it will give you a point in that domain. So the point is actually moving very close, taking very small values, approaching from left as well as from the right hand side. And when does the limit exist? Left hand limit equal to right hand limit. What is left hand limit?
X, A limit.
Equal to some finite value. Then the limit exists.
Or X and D itself.
Okay, that was the limiting concept. Now there are some forms of the limit. I will discuss some forms and some problems with examples. Suppose first form is gx, this type of form. Zero to the power 0 or infinity to the power 0. Let taking log on both the sides. Okay. Okay. This log and limit will interchange because log is a continuous function in its domain. This is the logarithm. And nothing is mentioned, so you are taking log e base. You are taking ln actually. Okay. Am I clear? Am I clear, Ishan? If I am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is of this form actually. Can I wrap this part?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir. So in
Yes.
the last line, therefore, L is equal to limit x. The E is there or that E? Yes, or this.
This is ln L. So basically,
Yes, sir.
so L is e to the power this whole thing.
Okay, sir.
Next is this form 1 to the power infinity. So I will use some standard limits. These two are standard limits. Limit, if your form is 1 to the power infinity, I will use these two standard limits. Limit x tends to 0, 1 plus x whole to the power 1 by x is e, or limit x goes to infinity, 1 plus 1 by x whole to the power x is e. These two are standard limits. I will use these two limits. If your form is 1 to the infinity. How will you adjust then? So suppose you are writing limit this is your problem suppose. So I am writing got it? So here you have fx. So I am writing 1 plus fx minus 1. Actually, I want this one because it's limit this one. I try to find out this one. So this and 1 over x, x is fx minus 1. So I'm writing this fx minus 1 to nullify. So this is actually e
E to the power gx.
e to the power limit x tends to a gx into fx minus 1. You can use this directly in the problems, MCQ problems. Directly this result. Without any calculation. If your form is 1 to the power infinity, you can write directly this result. These are the rules actually. Directly you can apply to calculate very quickly. So I will give you one problem on that. This.
Power element transfer.
Ah, always. Yes. Yes. So just for others, actually, this you can check. This is 1 to the power infinity form. If you put psi 7 by 2. Okay. Got it? You can evaluate the limit now. Clear, everybody? Okay, Dipayan?
Yes, sir.
Next is sandwich theorem.
X minus 7. Tan 2x minus 7 divided
That is 1. Limit x tends
Oh,
to 0. Tan x by x 1. If fx less than equal to gx less than equal to hx, or all x belongs to some domain and a is not there in the domain, maybe a point is not there, and L if these two limits are L, limit x tends to a fx equal to L and limit hx and limit x tends to hx equal to L, then this gx also goes to L. That is the sandwich theorem. So let us give a problem of that. Just the recapitulation of the everything before we go into continuity and differentiation. All are box function. Can you evaluate this using sandwich?
upgrade to the n minus 1 x plus
Yes, you are right. Shopmeet is right. Just talking about this one. Okay, clear, Dipayan?
Yes, sir.
Now dividing left by n square, dividing throughout by n square. Dividing throughout by n square. So what is your left hand limit? Let me check the left portion, the limit of the left portion. Okay.
So the screen is a bit too hazy.
Yeah, sorry.
So the video is very hazy. I can't see the board properly.
Oh, network, because of network issue, I guess. Can you see this
Yes.
portion? This portion?
So that portion is visible, kind of, but it's very much scattered, like pixelated.
Okay, I'm rubbing that one. Wait. Let me calculate the limit on the left. Can you see my writing now?
Yes, sir.
Can you calculate this limit?
Yes, sir, this can be calculated. Yes.
This limit will be x by 2. Can you calculate?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, the right hand limit will be similarly the right hand portion, the right function. Evaluating the limits for the right function. This is also x by 2. So naturally, this limiting value will be x by 2. Got it? Using sandwich.
Yes, sir. Understood.
ঠিক আছে তো একটা n কেটে গেল this is 0. N plus n in oh, this is 1. This is 0, this is 0 x by 2. Clear? This is about sandwich. Let us evaluate another problem. Using graphical knowledge. What is your box sin x by x? What is limit x tends to 0 box sin x by x? Okay, let me draw the graph. Can you see the drawing? This is sin x, and this is x, right? Now, as x tends to 0 plus, if you are moving from right hand side, which one is greater, x or sin x? In the neighborhood of 0, required from the graph. X is greater, you see, x is more than sin x. So sin x by x less than 1. So box will be zero. As x tends to 0 minus, if you are approaching from negative side, which one is greater? Which one is greater? Sin x.
Sir, what did you say in the last 5 minutes? I got disconnected.
Acha. As x tends to 0 plus, if you are moving from the right, which one
Yes,
is
sir.
greater?
X
X is greater than sin x. So sin
and
x
sin
is
x.
less than 1.
Yes, sir.
Box will be 0.
Yes, sir.
Clear? Now, as we are moving from left in the neighborhood of 0, x tends to 0 minus. Which one is greater? Sin x is greater
So
than.
sin x greater than x. Yes, sir.
So sin x by x, it is a negative quantity. It is less than 1. Equation will change
Yes, sir.
because it's a negative quantity. X less than 0. If you divide by
Yes, sir. Inequality will be reversed.
yes. So again you have 0. So this limit is 0. Clear? Am I clear? Graphically is the best. Left and right hand. Same concept, limit of same. So this you can solve these problems also at home. You can try tan x by x box limit x tends to 0, tan inverse x by x. Tan inverse x is an increasing function. Let me draw the tan inverse x graph. This is your tan inverse x graph. I will talk about in the inverse chapter also. So these portions you can evaluate similarly. I will go to the next type of discussion. Okay, can I rub these problems?
Yes, sir.
Next is use of expansion in evaluating limits. I am writing Q expansion, just you have to remember. ln 1 plus x, log 1 plus x. These expansions are actually from Taylor series expansion. That is not in your syllabus. Just the formula. Please take a note of that. Okay, everybody? Clear? If you are done, please tell me.
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay. Can I rub? Now let's have a very good problem, very interesting problem, and important also. The main problem is this one. So, how will you write? Correct? Can I write like this? What is the expansion? Tell me. Right? Okay? Okay, clear? And this is x e to the power expansion. What is the exponential? 1 plus plus x square by factorial 2 plus etc. Am I clear? Minus x by 2 minus x by 4. Oh no. Only minus x by 2. This is squared. Sorry. Acha, x square by 3 plus x square by 8. 11 x square by 24. And so on. 1 by 2 factorial 2 है 4 2s are 8 this is a formula expansion see the expansion define up to this clear
Yes, sir.
now see this is your ex by 2 11 x square by 24 e. Now these two terms are this. If you replace this by this, these two terms get cancelled. So you are remain with this one. So your answer is 11e by 24. Please check my calculation. Any queries? Higher order terms are neglected. H tends to 0. It's a very small quantity. If you take Q4, it will be negligible. And you have x square only in the given. बाकी गुण तो 0 ही है. X cube लागले बाकी गुण 0. X square लागले 0. Am I clear, Deepayan?
Yes, sir.
Newton-Leibniz rule. This is integration. You are integrating a function it. It is a function. You are integrating a function from fx to gx. And you are differentiating outside. That means you want to differentiate under the integral sign. You want to differentiate under the integral sign. So there is a rule called Newton-Leibniz rule. You know both of them are great mathematicians and Newton is a great physicist also. But before that they were great mathematicians. And most of the calculus developed by them. So what is the formula? This denotes first derivative. This is the rule. So first your upper limit replacing t into g dash x, derivative with respect to x. Next is lower limit fx, derivative with respect to x.
So can you explain it once again?
Yeah, sure. This is actually an integration.
Yes, sir. Like
Whose
a
limit?
derivation of with the integrals and the derivation of the integration.
Yes, derivative under the integral sign. You are
Yes.
differentiating and integration actually, whose limits are functions. So you have to apply this rule. This is the rule.
Okay, sir.
Upper limit, derivative of the upper limit. Function of lower limit, derivative of the lower limit. So let me give you one problem on that. So this type of problems will be integration also, not only limit. So you can use anything. So your limit x goes to 0, it's just a limiting problem. But you see x minus 0 to x cos t square dt. It's an integration and denominator is 0. Now, if x is 0, 0 to 0, it is 0, and denominator is 0. So it is 0 by 0 form, right? Right? 0 by 0 form. Indeterminate form. It can be infinity by infinity also. That is also indeterminate. So if you have indeterminate form, what will you do? L'Hopital's rule. Right, Deepayan? You will apply L'Hopital's rule.
Yes, sir. L'Hopital's.
L'Hopital's means differentiating the numerator, differentiating the denominator. So I am applying limit x goes to 0, derivative of x is 1 minus dx of tell me, is that clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Now I will apply this one. What is your upper limit? Cos x square. What is the derivative of x? And your lower limit 0, so other parts are 0. Okay? Oh, sorry, 6x, na? It is 6, 3x square. So it's 0. Now it's you can evaluate the limit. Now it's a limiting problem. There is no integration. So x cos 0 is 1, 1 minus 1, 0, 5, 0 minus 6. So it's 0. 0 is the answer. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any question? Another problem in my mind, not neutral lineage. So we have discussed sandwich We have discussed different forms, 1 to the power infinity, 0 to the power 0, infinity to the power infinity, and L'Hopital's rule and Newton-Leibniz sandwich also. Now there is another type of problem, also some box functions how to evaluate. So it's a total recapitulation of the limit. Next class will be on continuity differentiation. Straight, I will start with continuity, goes to differentiation. Another type of problem, suppose limit x tends to 0, x squared sine 1 by x. What is the limit of this function? Any guess? This will be 0. Why? Suppose fx is x squared and gx is sine 1 by x. Look at that. Limit x tends to 0, gx is not, doesn't exist. It is not, it doesn't exist at x equal to 0. If x tends to 0, but it is bounded function. Bounded in the neighborhood of 0. Because sine, cos, these are all bounded function. And limit if x equal to 0. So if you have a product of two kind of function, one is not defined at 0 or doesn't exist at 0, but it is bounded, and another one tends to 0, then the product will be 0. Limit will be 0. Limit of the product will be 0. You can frame many type of functions like limit x tends to 0, x for 1 by x equal to 0. Same. Limit x tends to 0, x to the power n sine 1 by x equal to 0. So these are all 0. Am I clear, Deepaya?
Yes, sir.
Please note down. That's all for today. Next class, I will start from continuity and differentiability.
1 by x into sin x.
1 by x,
Into sin x.
sin x tends to 0, 1 by x is undefined. Acha.
Sir, what is in the NBD of 0?
Yes,
Sir, you have written bounded in the NBD of 0. So what does this NBD mean?
neighborhood. NBD means neighborhood. Neighborhood.
Okay.
Neighborhood.